In investigation, we are taught to look for what is present, the blood, the weapon, the fingerprint. But usually, the truth lies in what is absent. When I entered 40 to Blackwood Lane, a house legally sealed for 20 years, I didn't look for ghosts. I looked for disturbances in the dust layer. Here is the observation. The hallway floor was covered in a uniform layer of dust, approximately millimeters thick. However, leading to the living room, there were no footprints, none. Yet, the phone was ringing. This presented hypothesis. The caller is inside the house, hiding in the attic or basement, and triggered the phone internally. Hypothesis B. The wiring has been tampered with remotely by passing the physical location. I picked up the receiver. No voice. Just a rhythmic clicking sound, not static. Code. I recorded it. Later analysis would reveal it wasn't random noise. It was a Morse string, repeated 3 times. The spider is hungry. This wasn't a haunting. This was a communication note. The Silas Vance files. Case 003. The house of the ringing phone. 12 hours later, we found the recipient of that call. Elias Thorne, a senior operator at the City Exchange. Dead in a phone booth. The medical report was confusing. No external wounds. No poison. I stood in front of my whiteboard and wrote down the facts. Fact 1. Elias died holding the phone. Fact 2. His right ear showed signs of internal hemorrhaging, specific to barotrauma. Fact 3. He was known to sell information. This brings us to the bottleneck theory. In any information network, there is a choke point where all secrets must pass. Elias was that choke point. He wasn't just connecting calls, he was recording them. If Elias was the spider mentioned in the code, then he wasn't hungry for food. He was hungry for money, and someone decided to cut his web. I pinned 3 photos to the suspect board. The web of relationships was messy, but motives are usually simple: love, money, or fear. Suspect 1, Councilman Drayton. Motive, fear. Elias had recordings of Drayton accepting bribes from the Docks Union. Evidence. Drayton's car was seen near the phone booth 2 days prior. Counter-argument. Drayton is a coward. He hires thugs to break legs. He doesn't use sophisticated methods like induced barotrauma. It's to clean for him. Suspect 2. Sarah Thorne, the victim's estranged wife. Motive, money. She was cut out of his will, and Elias had just cashed a large blackmail check. Evidence. She has no alibi for the night of the murder. Counter-argument. She lacks the technical access. To kill someone through a phone line requires access to the central exchange controls. She's a florist. Suspect 3. Arthur Kovic, the line supervisor. Motive, professional jealousy, or something deeper. Relationship. Kovic was Elias's mentor. They worked the night shift together for 10 years. Kovic had the access, the skill, and the opportunity, but he had no apparent motive. They were friends, unless they weren't. I brought Kovic in for questioning. He was calm to calm. He sat with his hands folded, looking at the table. Elias was a good man, Kovic said. Let's test that hypothesis, I replied, placing the transcript of the Morse code on the table. The spider is hungry. That was Elias's call sign, wasn't it? Kovic didn't blink. I don't know what you're talking about. I laid out scenario. You and Elias were partners in the blackmail scheme. You recorded the calls. He collected the money. Kovic stayed silent. I switched to scenario B. Or, Elias got greedy. He tried to blackmail you. What did he have on you? Kovic. For a split second, his eyes twitched, a micro expression of fear. Report observation. The suspect is hiding a defensive wound. His left hand is bandaged. He claims it's a burn from a soldering iron, but the angle of the wound suggests a defensive cut from a wire stripper. He was fighting with someone, maybe Elias. I released Kovic, not because I believed him, but because I needed him to make a move. I went back to the sonic weapon theory. How do you kill a man with a sound? I pulled the schematics of the 1950s telephone grid. If you override the voltage regulator at the exchange, and if you send a high-frequency pulse 15,000 Hz at maximum amplification, then the receiver diaphragm doesn't just vibrate. It acts like a shock wave. This requires two things. 1. The victim must be pressing the phone tight against their ear expecting a whisper. 2. The killer must be at the central switchboard at the exact moment of the call. I checked the duty logs. Kovic was clocked in at the central exchange at the exact minute Elias died. The alibi he gave that he was working was actually his weapon. He didn't need to be at the crime scene. His weapon was the network itself. I needed definitive proof. I needed to catch him in the bottleneck. I went to the abandoned house at 40 to Blackwood Lane. I knew Kovic would come back to retrieve the recording equipment Elias had hidden there. I waited in the dark. At 2 a.m., the back door opened. Kovic entered. He went straight to the floorboards. I hadn't checked under the rug. He pulled out a master tape. "It's over, Kovic," I said. Stepping out of the shadows, he froze. "You don't understand, Vance. Elias wasn't just blackmailing the councilman. He recorded everything, even the police chief, even you. That's why you killed him, to protect the city." "No," Kovic smiled, holding a wire cutter. "To inherit the business. The spider is dead. Long live the spider." He lunged for the junction box, trying to overload the house's circuit to start a fire. Observation: a desperate man makes mistakes. He forgot that in an abandoned house, the grounding wires are often corroded. When he cut the live wire, the surge didn't go into the ground, it went through him. The coroner's report listed Kovic's death as accidental electrocution. I recovered the tapes. The web of relationships was larger than I thought. Judges, cops, thieves, all connected by invisible copper wires, all whispering secrets they thought were safe. I burned the tapes. Sometimes, the only way to solve a case is to destroy the evidence that keeps the cycle of blackmail going. The house on Blackwood Lane is silent now. The phone doesn't ring. But the lesson remains. We build networks to connect us, but in the wrong hands. Every connection, a potential noose. Check your suspect list carefully. The most dangerous person isn't the one holding the gun. It's the one holding the switchboard. Good night, Rain City. Next time, the watchmaker who controlled time and death.